You know that person you're planning to become? Your brain thinks they're literally someone else. We all do it, promising ourselves that future us will wake up at 5 a.m., meal prep on Sundays, and somehow enjoy doing taxes. Meanwhile, present you is binge-watching shows at 2 a.m. with a bag of chips. But here's where it gets wild. Researchers discovered something that explains everything about why you keep letting yourself down. When you imagine your future self, your brain activity looks identical to when you think about a complete stranger. No wonder we sabotage our own plans. Your brain is literally treating future you like some random person who's not your problem. Think about it. You wouldn't stay up late if it made your best friend exhausted tomorrow. You wouldn't eat junk food if it made your sibling feel terrible. But future you, they can deal with it. This is why your Monday motivation disappears by Wednesday. Why your New Year's resolutions feel like someone else made them. Your brain is protecting you from a stranger's workload. The person you need to become isn't just distant. They're disconnected. Chapter 1. The imposter who's actually you. That fraud feeling you have? It's not a bug. It's a feature. Here's what nobody tells you about imposter syndrome. It only shows up when you're growing. You never feel like a fraud at things you've already mastered. Nobody feels like an imposter at breathing or walking or scrolling social media. We're all professionals at procrastination. The feeling of being a fake is actually your brain's alert system detecting a gap, not a gap between you and others, but between who you are and who you're becoming. It's growing pains for your identity. Think about every level up moment in your life. Starting that job, entering that relationship, taking on that project. The fraud feeling was there, right? But here's the plot twist. That feeling means you're exactly where you need to be. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. When you feel totally qualified, you're playing it safe. The imposter feeling is your expansion indicator. It's proof you're becoming someone new. The real question isn't if you feel like a fraud. It's whether you'll let that stop you. Chapter 2. Your shadow knows better. Everyone has a shadow self, and pretending you don't just makes it stronger. Here's the thing about the parts of yourself you hide. They're not going anywhere. That anger you suppress, that ambition you call selfish, that weird interest you think is too much, they're in your shadow doing push-ups. Carl Jung discovered something fascinating. The qualities we deny in ourselves don't disappear. They get stronger underground, like a beach ball held underwater. The more you push down, the more explosive the eventual emergence. But here's where it gets interesting. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's your untapped power source. Every quality you've rejected contains energy you need for transformation. That selfishness might be healthy boundaries. That too much might be your authentic passion. We spend so much energy being good that we forget to be whole. Integration isn't about becoming your shadow. It's about ending the civil war inside yourself. Because the person you need to become, they need all of you. Chapter 3. The identity subscription you never signed up for. Your personality might just be a hand-me-down, and you've been paying for a subscription you never wanted. Think about who you think you are. The shy one, the responsible one, the funny one, the smart one. Now ask yourself, who decided that? Probably wasn't you. Most of our identity was assigned before we could even spell identity. Family dynamics, early experiences, that one teacher's comment in 3rd grade. We're all walking around in costumes someone else picked out. Here's what's wild. You're still operating on programming from when you were 7. Your brain took those early labels and ran with them. Built an entire personality around what some adults said when your biggest concern was cartoon schedules. But here's your get-out-of-jail-free card. Identity isn't fixed. It's not in your DNA. It's just a really persistent habit. And habits? Those can be changed. The person you need to become is waiting behind the person you were told to be. Chapter 4. Why your brain treats change like a threat. Your brain would rather keep you miserable than uncertain. And that's exactly why you're stuck. Here's some evolutionary context that'll blow your mind. Your brain evolved to keep you alive, not happy. And for your ancestors, familiar meant safe, even if familiar was running from tigers. So now, 200,000 years later, your brain treats leaving your comfort zone like actual danger. Want to speak up in meetings? Danger. Want to start that project? Threat detected. Want to become a different person? Your inner alarm system just hit the panic button. This is why change feels so hard. It's not weakness or lack of willpower. Your brain is literally freaking out the same way it would if you saw a bear, except the bear is just you trying to grow. But understanding this rewrites the whole game. Once you know your resistance is just ancient software running on modern hardware, you can work with it instead of against it. Your brain needs proof that change equals safety. Small wins, micro experiments. Evidence that the new you won't get eaten by metaphorical tigers. Chapter 5. The values you think you have. Spoiler, you don't. Quick, name your top 5 values. Now explain why you spent 3 hours on TikTok yesterday. Here's the uncomfortable truth about values. Most of us are walking around with the greatest hits album of other people's priorities. Success, happiness, family, health. Sounds like a motivational poster starter pack. Real values aren't what you think you should care about. They're what you actually organize your life around. And if you're honest, your real values might include comfort, approval, and avoiding difficult conversations. Not exactly LinkedIn bio material. But here's where it gets interesting. Discovering your authentic values requires archaeology, not aspiration. You have to dig beneath the shoulds and supposed tos. Look at your calendar, your bank statement, your screen time report. That's where your real values live. The person you need to become, they're aligned with values you've chosen, not inherited. Values that make you uncomfortable because they're so true. Values that demand change because they're so clear. Time to cancel that subscription too. Join our YouTube membership for exclusive perks like early access to scripts, input on future topics about productivity, and connect with a like-minded community that gets it. Click join below and let's build your easier, more intentional life together. Chapter 6. Your problems are your identity's security blanket. What if you're not solving your problems because you are your problems? Sit with that for a second. We all know that person who's been working on themselves for a decade with the same issues. Maybe that person is you. No judgment, we're all in this together. But have you ever wondered why some problems seem unsolvable? Here's the plot twist nobody talks about. Your problems might be load-bearing walls in your identity structure. That anxiety? It's how you get attention and care. That procrastination? It's how you avoid judgment. That relationship pattern? It's how you confirm your beliefs about yourself. Think about it. Without your problems, who would you be? It's terrifying, right? You'd have to show up differently, talk about different things, maybe even succeed at something. Your problems are protecting you from your potential. The person you need to become doesn't need those problems, but letting them go means letting go of who you've been. It means admitting you've been choosing familiar pain over unfamiliar possibility. Time to drop the security blanket. Chapter 7. The multiple personalities you call you. You're not one person. You're a whole committee, and they're terrible at communication. Work you, family you, Friday night you, Monday morning you. They're practically different species. And that's not a disorder. That's normal. We all have multiple selves running different programs in different contexts. But here's where it gets problematic. These versions of you often want completely different things. Career, you want success. Comfort, you wants Netflix. Social, you wants connection. Anxious, you wants isolation. It's like hosting a party where nobody gets along. The mistake we make? Thinking we need to pick one true self and delete the others. But integration isn't about becoming one-dimensional. It's about getting all yourselves in the same room for an honest conversation. The person you need to become includes all these versions, not fighting for control, but cooperating toward a shared vision. Your ambitious self and your peaceful self can coexist. Your creative self and your practical self can collaborate. It's not multiple personalities. It's multidimensional wholeness. Chapter 8. Becoming friends with your future self. Want to hack your brain's stranger danger? Start having conversations with future you. This sounds weird, but stay with me. Remember how your brain sees future you as a different person. Well, what do we do with strangers we want to connect with? We talk to them. Here's the practice that shifts the whole trajectory. Write a letter from your future self to current you, not the fantasy version who lives in a mansion and never has problems. The real one, the one who's been through what you're going through. What would they tell you matters? What would they say doesn't? What advice would they give about that thing you're obsessing over? Suddenly, future you isn't a stranger. They're your mentor. Do this regularly, and something shifts. The gap closes. The resistance softens. You start making decisions as future you, not for them. It's like time travel for personal growth. The person you need to become starts showing up in your present. Chapter 9. The micro experiments that build your future self. Forget massive transformation. Your new identity is built one 2-minute experiment at a time. Here's why most identity change fails. We try to become a completely different person overnight, like trying to speak fluent Spanish after one Duolingo lesson. Your brain sees this massive change, hits the panic button, and sends you back to safety. But micro experiments, those fly under your brain's threat radar. Speaking up once in a meeting, saying no to one commitment, trying one new behavior, small enough to not trigger resistance, big enough to make a difference. Each experiment updates your identity evidence file. You spoke up and nothing terrible happened. File updated. You said no and people still like you. New data point. Your brain starts to believe change is safe. The person you need to become isn't built in grand gestures. They're built in tiny moments of choosing differently. 2 minutes of courage. One small action. Repeat it until it's just who you are. Revolution through evolution. Chapter 10. When relapse is actually progress. You know what's better than perfect growth? Imperfect growth you don't quit. Here's what nobody tells you about becoming someone new. You'll slip back into old patterns, repeatedly. And every self-help guru making it look easy? They're either lying or selling something. But here's the reframe that reshapes everything you thought you knew about growth. Relapse isn't failure, it's data. Every time you slip back, you learn exactly what triggers your old identity. What situations, what emotions, what thoughts. You're not failing. You're mapping the territory. Think of growth like a spiral, not a straight line. You might circle back to familiar places, but you're at a higher level each time. You see it differently. You respond faster. You recover quicker. Same view, new altitude. The person you need to become includes someone who relapses, who forgives themselves, who gets back up, who treats setbacks as setup for comebacks. Perfect people don't grow. Persistent people do. What if I told you that the person you need to become is already emerging? Think about it. The fact that you're listening to this means something in you has already shifted. You wouldn't be here if part of you wasn't ready to change. Your future self sent you. Every moment of recognition during this video, that was future you nodding. Every uncomfortable truth that resonated, that was old identity losing its grip. Every spark of possibility, that's who you're becoming saying hello. The truth is, transformation isn't something you do. It's something you allow. You stop fighting the current and start flowing with it. Stop defending who you were and start exploring who you might be. The resistance you feel, that's just the old you saying goodbye. And here's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, stop ignoring who you need to become. Start one micro experiment today. Have one conversation with future you. Choose one old pattern to question. Because the person you're becoming, they're not waiting for permission. They're waiting for you to catch up. The gap between who you are and who you're becoming isn't empty space. It's where the alchemy happens. See you there. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared. Oh, and there's more. I've just started a Patreon to help support these videos and connect with you more directly. Check out the link in the description if you'd like to join.